What's on, dude? So I filmed this video, but one of the files got corrupt. So now I have to redo it, and I tried so hard to make this, like, the original video work, but I had to do it in, like, 2 different video clips, and the first one, like, just it will not even go into Premiere Pro, which is what I use to edit. So that's got me really frustrated. Then I was having issues with Premiere Pro, so then I had to, like, go through updating it and whatnot, and then I was having issues with my password and stuff, and just, it was making me so freaking cranky. And then my sister texted me on top of it, and she really annoyed me, so I'm like, ugh, I don't know why, but I am so agitated right now about, like, everything. Like, even my dog was agitating me, and I was getting all cranky for that, or over that too. So I'm just, like, I don't know what my deal is, but I feel so imbalanced right now. And I was trying so hard to make this video work, but it was like, I would have saved so much time just redoing it. So on Wednesday, I ended up doing, like, a little vlog instead of, like, one of these sit-down videos. So in the original version of this video, I was saying, like, oh, you know, come back on Friday for another video. Well, now this is my Friday video. So I am really glad, though, that I had something else I was able to upload. I didn't upload on Monday this week. My schedule got all sorts of messed up, and so I'm, like, trying to get back on track. So I guess at least now I'm, like, 1 video ahead. My goal is to get, like, pretty far ahead so I can have a little bit more free time and do other videos as well. So anyways, let's jump into it. Okay, so where did Michelin stars come from? Now, I saw this meme and I was like, oh my gosh, that's really funny, but that's actually not even a joke. That is who decides, like, which restaurants get Michelin stars. So, okay, now it's a French company, and there's French names that I can't pronounce because I'm American and my mouth doesn't form, like, French words very well. So I know I'm going to say this stuff wrong, but it's, in English, it would be Company General Establishment Michelin. I know I said that in the wrong order if you'd convert it to English, but I can't remember how to convert it. So it's a French tire manufacturing company. It's Michelin tires, which I didn't even realize was a French tire. Michelin tires are really good, though. But behind Bridgestone, Michelin is the second largest tire manufacturer in the world. And that's actually not true because Lego, they make the most tires in the world. But I guess if you were going with, like, real tires, it would be, you know, Bridgestone and Michelin. So in 1889, Edward Michelin and Andre Michelin were running a farm implement business in France, and one day a cyclist, he had a pneumatic tire that needed to be repaired, so they, like, took it to the factory, and the tire was glued to the rim. That's, like, what makes it a pneumatic tire, is that it's glued to the rim. So it took 3 hours to be fixed, and then it had to sit overnight to be dried. So think you have to, like, heat up that glue and then glue it and then let it dry. But remember, this is 1889, so technology wasn't as advanced as it is today. So this would be a really hard process to do, or just time consuming, I should say, not necessarily hard. So then the brothers took the bike back to the factory to, like, test it out, and after only a couple hundred meters, the tire failed again. So even though it wasn't very great, Edward really liked the pneumatic tire, so he and his brother designed their own version, but it was one that didn't have to be glued to the rim. Michelin Inc. was incorporated on May 28th, 1889, and the first pneumatic tire was invented in 1888, so it only took a year for somebody to come up with a better way to make this tire. So then in 1900, there were less than 3,000 cars on the road in France, and in order to increase demand for cars and then in turn tires, the Michelin brothers published a guide for drivers. It was a free guide that was distributed to motorists that provided information like maps, tire repair and replacement instructions, car mechanics, hotels, and petrol stations, like, throughout France. And at first, they made 35,000 copies of it. Over the next few years, more guides were released for more areas in Europe. So at first it was like only France, and then they started branching out into other places as these guides got more popular and as they started selling more tires to more like distributors in Europe. However, during World War I, of course, it was suspended. They quit printing it, which makes total sense. And then in 1922, they started to charge for the guide. It was $2.15 like US dollars. And they had different categories for different restaurants. So probably like formal dining, maybe non-formal, or I mean, I don't know what the categories are. Like formal, informal, maybe, like, I don't know. Also, the thing that made them decide to start charging for it was because Edward started realizing that it was just a desk ornament on like mechanics' benches, like on their workbench. They would just have the guide sitting there, and he figured like you don't respect something that you don't pay for, so that's why they started charging for it. And $2.15, I mean, today doesn't sound like a lot, but like back then that would have been kind of pricey to buy that. In 1926, they started to give fine dining establishments stars, and the reviewers of said establishments were always anonymous, which I believe they still are to today, because you want the service and the quality of food to be no better than what it would normally be, just because you know that you're getting rated on it. First, they only awarded 1 star, and then in 1931, they started awarding up to 3 stars. So like 1 star was like, I mean, really, really good. 2 stars was like, oh, prime. 3 stars was like the best of the best. But they kind of wanted to have a rating system so you knew, okay, it is good. It's definitely good, worth going to. But then this one is like top tier. And then in 1936, the criteria for the rankings got released. They started letting people know what they were basing their stars off of. So 1 star was a very good restaurant in its category. 2 stars was excellent cooking, worth a detour. 3 stars was exceptional cuisine, worth a special journey. In 2022, the US got its first guide. I believe there's 9 restaurants in Florida at that time that were Michelin stars. I never even considered that America wasn't part of the Michelin Star guide. It just seems like, and this is horrible, and I know, but it just seems like America, because of the size of us, like we would be already in the Michelin guide. Like we would already have that, which is, I mean, honestly, okay, that is so, like, that's really narcissistic to think that and just to assume that we would have a guide. But I don't know. So I was very surprised that it was in 2022 that we finally got one, which is pretty cool. But these are all the places that have a guide. I got that straight from their website. So even though that meme is funny, it's also very true that the Michelin Man is the guy that started giving restaurants guides and stars, which I thought was really cool and just kind of a funny little fact to know. When I first read this, I've known this for a while, but I thought it was fake. I was like, there's no way. Why would a tire company give out stars to restaurants? Like, what do the two have to do with each other? But then after I read more about it in the history, I was like, that does actually make a lot of sense, and that's really cool that they did it. It's kind of like a Zagat, that recommends places and things to do and whatever, stuff like that, which shout out to Gilmore Girls, because I didn't know what a Zagat was before watching that show. So anyways, little side tangent, but yeah, so that is how we ended up with Michelin stars. If you guys found this video to be interesting, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel if you want. If not, thanks for watching this video. But this is what I do. I typically do videos on true crime, but every now and then I like to do celebrity gossip on, Tuesday I ended up uploading one about the Kardashians and Barkers and whatnot. But typically I post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will be back again on Monday. I'm going to get back to regularly scheduled videos. This week just got kind of thrown out of whack. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any video suggestions, definitely leave them in the comments down below. Or if I forgot to mention anything, for this video, comment it down below for sure. I love when you guys add more information to stuff. Some things I don't mention just because I'm that's, a pretty small piece of information. It's not part of the bigger picture of this video. So I like when you guys kind of fill in those gaps as well. I think it kind of builds community. But anyways, I hope you guys stay safe and have a great day. Bye, guys.